Relationships based on interdependence, whether among individuals or nations, are rewarding as well as lasting. In this new world order, what would you call a friendship that is beyond mere economic terms? Pakistan and Sri Lanka are tied in an unbreakable bond of friendship that is the outcome of a common vision, the vision of a world that is free of hunger, ignorance, disease, and fear. To pass on this legacy to coming generations and to make this relationship even stronger, the inclusion of youth in this process seems indispensable. For this purpose, a youth exchange program was proposed by the Ministry of Youth of Sri Lanka through their High Commission in Islamabad. The administration of a small private college in Abbottabad accepted this offer wholeheartedly. To experience a history going back thousands of years, friendly people, some of the world's highest peaks, azure blue beaches, interesting flora and fauna, and the exotic culture of Pakistan, a youth delegation from Sri Lanka reached Pakistan on 30th May 2011. Mr. Sikandar Azam and Mr. Muhammad Nadeem were there to extend a warm welcome to our friends at Benazir Bhutto International Airport, Islamabad. On their first day in Pakistan, the delegation was taken to the mountains of Chakwal. Mr. Fakhir Kamal, who played the host there, had arranged a sensational event for our friends. After a little training, they were asked to gear up for an extreme sport, paragliding. Great thermic conditions gave the paragliders spectacular flights. This mountainous region holds marvels in its folds for the tourists. The next stop for our guests was one such marvel, the historic Rajkatas Fort. The government of Punjab has plans underway to rehabilitate the original framework of this architectural wonder of its time. Close to the Rajkatas Fort are located huge coal mines. Before coming back to Islamabad, the delegation went to see one of the biggest coal deposits of the region. The next day, the Deputy Chairman of the Senate of Pakistan, Mr. Jan Muhammad Jamali, invited the delegation to the Parliament House. After being greeted by personnel in elegant uniforms, the delegation was taken around the National Assembly and the Senate halls. Detailed information regarding the political system of Pakistan was shared with the visitors. An interesting picture gallery of old parliamentarians was also visited by our friends. Before the briefing about the functioning of the Senate of Pakistan, Mr. Jan Muhammad Jamali hosted a sumptuous lunch in the honor of the delegation. Besides, His Excellency retired Air Chief Marshal Jayalath Virakodi, the High Commissioner of Sri Lanka in Pakistan, Dr. Muhammad Tariq from the Foreign Office of Pakistan, the Principal of Modern Age, Mr. Abdul Wahid Mir, many senators and journalists also attended the lunch. After this visit, the delegation went for sightseeing in Islamabad. was a beautiful evening that night in Islamabad when Mr. Manik Bandara hosted a dinner in the honor of the touring delegation from his country. On the third day of their tour, the delegation moved to Abbottabad. A stopover was made at one of the leading manufacturers of herbal medicine, the Karshi Industries Private Limited, Hatar. The administration welcomed the delegation very enthusiastically and briefed them about the preparation of herbal medicines. The next stop was at the historic Museum of Taxila. The glorious history of this region, especially that of the reign of Ashoka and the teachings of Buddha, lay before the eyes of the visitors. The Jolia Monastery offered a satisfying spiritual experience to the members of the delegation. They might have felt a touch of the serenity of Buddha while walking through the quiet passages of the monastery. The delegation reached the Modern Age Public School and College, Abbottabad, in the evening, where it was accorded a very warm welcome. The members of the delegation intermingled with their Pakistani friends and enjoyed the traditional dances and hospitality of Hazara. During their stay in Abbottabad, the delegation studied the educational system of Pakistan. Here they visited some of the leading educational institutions of Abbottabad. In Abbottabad Public School and College, the principal, Mr. Mehboob Alam, welcomed the delegation. The group was shown around the beautiful campus of the institution. The same day, they also went to Modern Age Public School and College for Girls, where they visited the classrooms and freely interacted with the students. In order to study the system of higher education in Pakistan, the delegation visited the ComSets University, Abbottabad. The director of ComSets, Mr. Khan Gul Jadoon, received the delegation. He briefed them about the opportunities available to Pakistani youth in the field of higher education. In the evening of the same day, the delegation attended a press conference and a cultural evening at the girls' campus of Modern Age, which was perhaps the most memorable event of the entire visit. The chief guest of the function was the High Commissioner of the Embassy of Sri Lanka, Mr. Jayalath Virakoti. Honorable Minister of Youth Affairs, Mr. Sayyid Aqil Shah, attended the function as the guest of honor. The stage performances of the students were greatly appreciated by the guests. The next morning, the delegation visited the Park Irish Rehabilitation Centre, where they studied the procedure of rehabilitation of persons with physical disabilities. Mr. Manik Bandara fitted an artificial limb to an amputee. Cricket is in the blood of Pakistanis and Sri Lankans. Two youth teams got engaged in a friendly match. It is immaterial that who bagged the win, as the real winners were friendship and true spirit of sport. The next destination of the delegation was the Mangal Base Camp of Adventure Foundation of Pakistan. There they learned camping techniques and played cooperative games. They learned to tie knots and pitching tents. These camping techniques were put into practice the next day when the delegation spent one night at Khanaspoor, Ayubia. The world trekkers have declared the track between Ayubia and Dunga Gully as one of the most beautiful walking tracks in the world. The Sri Lankan delegation witnessed the spectacular beauty when they treaded on this rarely beaten track. On the 8th day of their stay, the delegation visited the Pakistan Military Academy, Kakul. Here they saw the historic museum of the academy and were briefed about the rigorous training that the young cadets go through before they become commissioned officers. On the same day, they saw the Women Medical College, Abbottabad. Dr. Azhar Jadoon made excellent arrangements for this visit. The members of the delegation stayed with Pakistani families on the last 2 nights. They experienced a taste of a Pakistani way of life. The second last day of the visitors in Pakistan was spent in the historic city of Peshawar. The visit to the University of Peshawar highlighted the high standards of education in Pakistan. The Peshawar Museum was also a place of interest for our guests. They took interest in the relics of Buddha housed in the museum. In the morning of the last day, a brief farewell ceremony was held. Souvenirs were exchanged and words of gratitude were expressed by the visitors. On their way to Islamabad, the delegation stopped briefly at the Alarkam Academy of Excellence in Haveliya and attended a farewell ceremony. The last day was indeed a sad day, both for Pakistanis as well as Sri Lankan youth. With tearful eyes, the guests were bade farewell. However, the memories of their visit will remain in our hearts for long times to come.